So hello and welcome to Nose Knows. Now today I'm going to take a look at some automatic wire strippers. Now traditionally I've always used sort of pliers and snips to strip wire back, and have done that for the last 30 years or so, and I've never come unstuck using the old traditional methods. However, somebody recently said, why am I not using automatic wire strippers, in one of the comments below on another video. So I thought I would treat myself and get myself a pair of these CK automatic wire strippers. These particular ones do a maximum of 6mm, as you can see on the spec there. I think the model number is the 495001, it says on the card. And these particular ones have got a bit of extra functionality. Obviously on the back it says hardened steel blades for long life, automatic stripping of wires without adjustment, single action. Well, I'll show you in a bit. I have had these out of the box already, and it's not as perfect as that. Crimping of insulated, non-insulated terminals. So basically there's a set of crimps on the back. Micro adjustment, again, I've had this knob out. It doesn't seem to do anything when you adjust the knob. I've had a look at it to see if it does anything. It doesn't really seem to do anything at all. Guaranteed craftsmanship. Now I thought by buying CK that I would be getting a quality product, but like I say, it tends to be a two-handed job to try and get these to work correctly. So like I say, I have had a play around with these. I just left them in the box so I could show you the box and how they come. But here's the actual strippers themselves. Now they've got wire cutters here for cutting your wires off. You've got your crimpers here with the colour codes there. You've got this depth gauge that you can set your depth of your wire with, this one here. So you put your wire in, set your depth to what you want. There's even a little ruler, if you can just about make it out on the camera there. There's a little ruler on the actual side, which you set your depth gauge to, or you just put your ruler in and measure your depth that you want your wire stripping back to, which is all very good. But what's tending to happen with these now, I don't know if I've got a faulty pair, so if somebody has got a pair of these and is watching this video, I would love to hear if these are faulty, because I cannot get them to work single-handedly. You need two hands. You have to hold the jaws like that and then pull to get the jaws to close. If I try and pull the jaws now, you see the jaws tend to stay open. It's pretty much like it's waiting for this grey plastic bit here, these jaws, to stay closed before letting the black ones open first, so they can get a grip, and then like that. So it does work when you hold it with two hands, but that's not ideal, because the idea is to make things quicker. Put the wire in and snip, which I'll show you in a sec. So traditionally, to strip a wire with a pair of wire snips, let me just get these out of the way a second. So this is a 2.5, I've just scribbled on just so you can see which ones we're doing. So this is a 2.5 twin and earth. So traditionally, to strip this wire back, what I would do would be to get a pair of snips. I'll just snip into the end here just to get me going. But I'll get a pair of snips and then open the wire up like so. And then once you get it going, you then just pull them open to the length that you want. Pull the actual insulation back, straighten the wires back up like so, and then I would trim around. If I wanted the insulation to stop there, what I would do then was trim around the wire. So I would trim it so it doesn't pull back the insulation any further. And this is the way that I was taught about 30 odd years ago. I'm an engineer by trade, and obviously this is something that we go through. So it was sort of trimming this back, making sure I'm not going to make it too perfect for the video, because this is not what the video is about. But traditionally that's what I would do, is trim it all back, get it nice and square like so. And then to strip these back, I would then pull the wire back, whichever ones I'm stripping, get my length that I want to go. Let's say we want to take 10 or 15 mil off. We would then just get them bits off, then just spin it around the actual with slight pressure, and then pull, and then that strips the wire back. So now you've got that stripped back for the depth you want. So that's what I would traditionally tend to do. Now let's get on to the wire strippers. So the CK tool, like I said, does have wire cutters on them, so you can put the wire in like so, up to the wire cutter, and then just give them a push and it'll cut the wire off. So that's just the wire cutters that are just here on the actual jaws, just this section next to the crimps. I'm not going to go through the crimps here, but we are going to talk about the depth gauge. So like I say, you can set the depth gauge to how far you want to strip back. So obviously with the depth gauge in the way, it's not really very good to take your insulation off. So you can spin that out of the way while you do strip the insulation off. Now the problem I've found, let me just straighten the wire up just so it makes it a little bit more so we don't think it's the wire that's stopping it. Problem I've found, if I put them in now, I'll put that wire in. If I want to strip that much off the insulation, for example, I'll pull the handle and expect it to grab, but it doesn't do anything. So it doesn't strip back what it's in a single-handed action, which you'd expect wire strippers to do. What you have to do is hold the actual wire in place, hold the jaws steady with one hand, so you've got your other hand on the grip, and then actually do the action now. So you pull in for it, I'm putting pressure on the jaws, and then it does the actual action. Now I don't know if that's how they're supposed to work. You'd think they were supposed to be single-handed, but who knows. So I'd love to hear in the comments if you've got a pair of these. So again, to strip the wire back, so it does a nice clean job. You can see lovely clean cut once it pulls off. It's just pressure on the actual wire, hasn't nicked them in any way, so that's great. So let's pull these wires out. Again, you can set the gauge on here for the depth. So let's say we wanted to take, it's in inches, so you've got quarter, half inch. So we wanted to take half an inch off. Let's put it on and see what we've got. So I'm putting it up to the depth gauge, and you can see as if I push this now, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't grab it. Let me just move the depth gauge out of the way actually. So as you're doing that, it doesn't do anything at all. It doesn't grip, doesn't thing. Now you can obviously do what we did before. So if I put the wire in, now the problem is if you put the depth gauge in, you've got that, it sort of rocks out of the wire strippers, but you can hold it up roughly to where it is. But then you need sort of free hands at this point because your wire's there. You're trying to hold the wire, you're trying to hold the jaws. So you hold the jaws still, let them grip onto where onto the wire, and then pull, and then it strips it off. So once you've got it to grip, it does do a good job, and it does take off the amount that you're sort of expecting it to. And obviously once you've got this set to where you want, you can then go through and just carry on. Maybe you've got two of these set to one side, one to strip the insulation off and one to, you know, get your set for doing your sockets or whatever you're doing. But I tend to find if you put a bit of a bend in it, you sort of get a bit better of a grip. But you can see it's trying to get away because the wire is twisting. So offer it in, hold the jaws still, grab, snip, done. So it does do an okay job, but this two or three handed job, that's not ideal. I'm probably quicker with the snippers to get the size and length I want. But you can see it's done the two lengths, pretty ideal, pretty good. So that's with a 2.5 twin and earth. Let's now try it with 1mm. So this is 1mm twin and earth, so obviously thinner stuff, thinner grade, sort of LED circuits and stuff like that. So again, I'm going to get these pulled open, onto one side, pulled open, try and use them, don't do anything at all. Maybe left-handed, maybe try them, try it left-handed and try and put the wire in. Doesn't do, there, it's got a grip all of a sudden, it's got a grip then, but you get the point. You can't be stood there for, well, I'm only going to be left-handed, I'm going to be right-handed. You can try and offer it, put your hand sort of against it, so this left hand here just touching that grey jaw and this one on that jaw, and then that will give it sort of the grip you want, and then pull, snap, and then you've got it. But it's not ideal, like I say. Anyway, that's the 1mm twin and earth, and let's just strip this back to where we want to be. So let's just take it off. Again, two hands on the job, hold the grey jaws still, so it gets it, grabs it on, snips it off, job done. So that's doing the single wire. Let's now try and do two together. So here's the 2.5 back in play. Let's just snip the end off of that, get that to one side. So what you can do here now is obviously strip this back first. So again, if I hold it like that, now you can do either the grabbing of the jaws, which is the more efficient way to get it to do it, or you can push down on the top of the greys here and get them to sort of hold. Once they get a grip, then give it a pull the insulation off like so. And what you can do then is do two together. So this is where the time saving really comes in. So if I put the two in together like so, and if I can get the wire to stay in position, hold the jaws in, let's not take that much, let's do about there, hold the jaws, let it grip, and then snap off, and then you got two together. And then what you could do then is just snip the ends to where you wanted, you know, with your length sort of thing, and you've got perfect length. So that's probably the way that's really going to be time saving, by doing it with the wire strippers. And again, let's try it with the 1mm stuff. So this is the 1mm twin and earth. Let's put this in, let's strip a little bit off the end. Let's hold this. I'm going to hold the jaws at the top here and just strip a little bit off the end of it, this 1.5. Get it to strip that little bit section off, pull that off. And I can do the same here. If I want to square them off, just use the cutters, and then maybe put them in, cut the bit off that I want. So I'm going to do that, and this is where you need your free hands again. So I'm going to hold it like that. See how it's not gripping? So it's not ideal. And let me just try and push the tops in. You want this jaw here to hold back really. So if I'm holding that and then go like that and then pull. So there we go. And then they're all the set length, and if I wanted to, then I could trim the ends off with the actual wire cutters on the 1mm to the length I wanted. Well, that's it. That's the CK wire strippers. I'm not that impressed with them, but like I said, these might be faulty. I'd love to hear if you've got them and they're working great for you. But that's my first look at wire strippers. For me personally, unless I've got big jobs, repetitive jobs on, I won't be using these. I'll be going to sticking with the traditional wire cutters, wire snippers, and I might try some more other different wire strippers just to see how they compare. But that's my first look at the CK wire cutters. Thanks again for watching Nose Knows. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Obviously, hit me up with any comments below. They are always appreciated. And please do subscribe to my channel to watch more videos like this.